All right, so here we are. We're meeting in Cancun with my friends and neighbors here in the beautiful resort, with whom we play volleyball. So it's Gerardo, who's an architect, and Alex,
studying law.
Studying law. So wonderful. You had some questions for me, and I want to answer everything for you, whatever you like. Don't worry about time. Any questions, I'm happy to answer. So you ask me.
Okay. So how did you start?
So the way I got started was I wanted to be a hotel manager. So all I studied was hotel and finance, how hotels operate in basically three areas: the marketing to bring customers, which completely changed from the time I started to now because of technology; operations, which has to do with human resources, how to deal with people, which is the best thing I could have ever dreamed to learn, because it helps you in anything you do. If you have customers that are demanding, if you have problems, how to handle all that. And number three was the financing, how the hotel operation works, how much income, how much you should spend in expenses in each area, and how to organize that so you can know your break-even point, and how you can charge for the rooms, and how you can block certain number of rooms at a certain price and then different. And then I elevated that to another level, how the owners, I started thinking, how do the owners make money? And that's what made me different than other people that studied hotel business. I started studying what's in it for the owner. It's not just a building, it's a business. And that's what I studied. And then what happened is I said, I'm gonna work for the best possible hotel. Century Plaza Hotel in Los Angeles was rated the most perfect hotel in the world because it was built close to Beverly Hills in Century City to accommodate movie stars and big political people, like Ronald Reagan used to stay there, and it was the early 80s. So I went to work there as a management trainee. When they interviewed me, I speak Arabic, French, English, and a little Spanish, so they liked that. I was educated in Switzerland. Then I took intensive classes in UCLA for business. So they said, wow, this guy's a hard worker, come and work. So I started working there like literally around the clock, from 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning till 10, 11 at night. Whenever I could stay extra, I would stay extra. Sometimes I couldn't stay extra because I had some other classes I had to take. But a hotel guest, a billionaire in the name of Edmond Bessari, noticed me. And one day, it was in the early 80s, he came to me and he said, look, I just flew in from Europe and I came in, I want to talk to you. Took me outside the hotel. He said, I want you to work for me. I have properties around the world. And if you are saying yes right now, I will show you what nobody can show you. But I've been looking at you, people like you, you work hard, you're always smiling, you're always energetic, you remind me of when I was young. And I said, wow, okay. I said, okay, fine. I don't know anything about real estate. He said, don't worry. I tell you what to do, what to say, but just do what I tell you. I said, okay. It changed my life. So I worked for him for 8 years. I traveled a lot to France. I was in Wisconsin, I was in New York, I was in Florida, I was in California many times, doing work for him. And I learned how to put real estate deals that are very big, very complicated. And I realized that the best thing in the United States is the banks can give you money.
Yes. And
people want to sell. So he said, wow, they want 1 million. All I have to come up with is 200,000, maybe 300,000, and then I can put it together. I don't have to come up with 1 million. If in Mexico, in Egypt, in France, a lot of time you have to come up with cash. But over in the US, so I learned like, oh my God, I can be very creative. And also what I learned from hotel and dealing with people, I started asking the sellers, so you want 1 million, would you take 900? How about this? I learned to negotiate. And the more I improved my communication skills, the more I was able to make better deals for him. And then one day I learned like, maybe I can do it for myself. What the hell am I doing? Just making the money. So I sat down with him and I said, look, after 8 years, I said, I'd like to leave, and because I want to do my own deals. And he said, you've been great, with my blessing, you can go. And I was so afraid. So I went and I got a job. He gave me a recommendation with Hilton. So I went to work with Hilton. And next to my full-time job, I would do real estate. And it started growing and growing and growing and growing. Then I started to say, I want to help others, I want to teach. And I started teaching. When I started teaching, my business exploded. Like more people, I didn't want anything from my students. I just said, I'm going to teach you. But what happened is people said, we're willing to pay you to teach us more. We're willing to invest with you. We can give you money. So many years later, I created a fund, a fundación, a fund, and people give me money. And then I buy buildings with their money, with the bank loan, and with my knowledge, and I put some money as well. So my money multiplied. So now I have a lot of assets, a lot of opportunities between California. I like Puerto Rico because it's very good for taxes, and it's US, and it's Caribbean. And so it's Spanish, English, etc. So it has a lot of advantages, and my business continues to grow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Long answer for the short question, but I wanted you to understand the flow.
Okay. And you take the sole decisions for what buildings do you buy, or the investors?
Yes, so I am the only decision maker for what I buy and what I sell. Sometimes I have projects like in San Francisco, we buy these homes that are luxury homes. These are very expensive homes, like from $2 million all the way to $10 million, one home. So we buy them, let's say $3-4 million. We add square footage downstairs, the basement, we change it, make it very nice, etc. We approve with the city. And then when it's time to sell, I ask my project manager. I have 2 project managers, and I have different architects and designers, etc. And I ask them, because I pay them on the percentage of profit. I say, what do you think? I like to always ask all the people involved their opinion. Give me your opinion. What do you see? And sometimes it's negative opinion, sometimes it's positive opinion, but I listen to everything, and I don't agree or disagree. I just ask more questions. And at the end, I make the final decision. Because at the end, it's my money, my investors' money. And what is amazing is I have had my fund for 11 years and have about 64, 65 investors. Every project we did was profitable. We never lost. Even though 2010, 11, the market was horrible, we made money, because we know what we're doing. And yeah, you don't want too many people to make a decision. Excuse me. You don't want a decision by committee, because the more people have to decide, the more disagreements. And everybody has an opinion on this. It has to be one final decision maker, it has to be you. That's my opinion.
Okay, and how do you think people should start in Mexico, that the banks don't give the same loans as easy as in the United States?
Okay, so in Mexico, I've been in and out of Mexico for many, many years, because my wife is Mexican, as you know, and I live here in the resort. So what I've always thought about Mexico is there are many opportunities, and the good thing is here, because the banks don't help, you can find a different way. And the different way is the foundation. You create a fund, and you can tell investors, I have a project that can make so much money in so many months. Are you interested to participate? The project is going to cost $500,000 US. We are looking for 5 investors with $100,000 each, but we have the land under option to buy it. We know how to design it. You're an architect. You know what you're doing. You're a lawyer, so when you finish, you become a lawyer. You can put the contracts together, and you can tell people, when we finish the project, we anticipate to sell it at $1 million, but it's going to take 2 years. So we're going to give you your $500,000 back, plus maybe 15% per year. Or we're going to give you half the profit on the upside. So people are going to say, okay, I have little money and it's sitting, it's not doing anything for me. I go in with you. And you have the paperwork done the right way, legally, so they can invest. Now, maybe 5 people, $100,000 US too much. Maybe they say, I only have 25,000. Okay, then you can say, I'm gonna take minimum 25,000, but the maximum we need is 500. And maybe you don't need it all right away. Maybe you need some right now, some a little later, some a little. You do the first project with a group and you sell it and you make money and you pay them back with the profit. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to say, oh, can I do another project with you? Now, the next project, you can do 3 properties, 3 lots, 3 properties, their money and your money. And now you're growing faster. And there is always risk when you do real estate.
Yes.
And when you do anything, there is risk. So in the agreement to get them as partners, you're gonna disclose. That means you're gonna put in writing, there is risk. We can potentially use the money, but we're gonna be very careful. You can come and visit the property anytime. We're gonna put videos every month of the progress we're doing on the website, like I do. In the United States, this process, creating a fund, is controlled by the Securities and Exchange Commission. It's called SEC. I have to write something and I have to present it to the investors. They have to sign that they agree and then they invest. Here, probably something is similar. There is something similar that you can write the agreement. It's like a contract. You say, we're all in this joint venture together. Exactly. And you come in, I'll pay you X. Now, after you do 1, 2 projects, you can also ask the bank. Because sometimes the bank here at 12% is cheaper than investors that have partnership. You with me on this?
Yeah.
So in the beginning, you may have to pay a lot for investors. Later, you can get the bank, tell the bank, look, this is my project. You create a booklet, you create on the website, look at my projects. I'm lower risk. Just give me, it's gonna be $1 million, just give me 500,000. Maybe the bank will say, okay. Maybe the bank will say only 100. But then little you build relationship with the bank, you build relationship with investors, and you create money for yourself. In 5 years, you can do projects for millions of dollars. And you thought, like, that's impossible. I don't know how people can make it. It's like going up the stairs. This is how it happened for me. And that's how it can continue happening. And if you, at one point, you don't need the investors, you have some money, you can start again small, do it again. I like to create partnerships. This is the way I like to do business because I think, like, here's the pie, I can create a bigger pie. Everybody can benefit. It doesn't take from me, it adds to everybody. And that's what how I like to do business.
Okay. So, right now, do you see a buying market in Mexico, inside Mexico? Or what do Americans think of Cancun?
Yes, Americans love Cancun. The problem is Americans and foreigners, when they come to invest in another country, it gets complicated with the taxes. So you have to, if you're gonna attract American investors, my suggestion anyway, is to create a combination of 2 things. You have to explain to them, we're gonna give you this best location. It's beachfront. Wow, it's beachfront. I want to be beachfront because it's going to be my vacation. And you're going to be part of this development. It's 8 units. And you're going to own 1 of the units. But we're going to sell them like, let's say, timeshare. Or we're going to sell them this way. But you have the right to buy it. So you invest with us to develop it. When we're done, you have the right to buy 1 unit for X. Or to keep it, or we sell it and pay you. So you have to give them like almost a personal use for vacation and investment of money. I've seen projects advertising, when we finish, you give it to us and we rent it and we guarantee you X return. Yeah. Oh my God, Americans love it because they're gonna say, okay, can I use it for 4 weeks a year or 2 weeks a year? Yes, I'm gonna pay you to, like, you give us the money, we finish the project, we pay you a return. But we also make so much ongoing. So you as the developer create a project for them to make profit and personal use. That I think are the best, these are the best projects, number 1. Number 2, you have to be in such a good location that the competition doesn't matter. Because I give you an example, Playa del Carmen. If you bought 10 years ago in Playa del Carmen, something for 130,000, like a small development, small unit. Today, you try to sell it. If it's not in the perfect location, nobody will buy it. Why? Because there's always another new building, 120,000. It's maybe smaller, but people say, maybe I don't need so much space. Maybe I don't need 2 floors. So the competition is very tough in areas. But when you go beachfront and you say it's 1 million, you have many people coming because the location is very powerful. So Cancun and Playa del Carmen have a huge advantage. Everybody likes it. The weather is amazing. The growth is phenomenal. And if you create something safe and profitable, they're gonna come running to you.
And how do you determine that it's safe and profitable?
Okay, so the safety has to be in the structure. This is a very good question, by the way. The safety is in the structure. Say, so you explain to an American, okay, so think about it. For somebody to make a decision, what do they need? They need information. So you sit down with somebody and you say, I'm an architect, I'm an attorney. Okay, when you're done, when you have the license. So now there is credibility. Number 2, here is the document that will show you how to invest. Number 3, here is the land that we already have under contract. Number 4, this is the fideicomiso. This is the trust that's set up under Mexican rules for foreigners. This is the system here. And when you invest, you're gonna put your money this way, and this is the agreement how we're gonna take the money to do this project. Now they understand. The only way somebody can make a decision is if they have all the information. If they cannot decide, they need more information. So in the beginning, when you raise money to make it safe, you ask them, what other information can I give you? People will say, I don't know yet. Do you need to know the bank account? Oh yeah, we need to talk to the bank. Okay, come, let's introduce you to the bank. Well, I need this to verify with another lawyer. Here are a list of lawyers you can talk to. Well, I need to know how it... So the more in the beginning they ask you a question, the more you can add to the information you give the next person. Then you have what I call the perfect pitch. A pitch is a presentation to raise money for a specific purpose. And the only way to go from where you are to the big money is to have a good project presented in a safe way for them to understand, okay, there is this, my money is protected. Okay. That's the way. I don't know here if you can do insurance or there is something called bond. Okay, so you give them as much insurance, as much lower risk. Maybe instead of having 5 investors, 100,000 each, you can have 25,000 minimum investment. And somebody say, I want four units. So I give you 100. Somebody else say, I want 10. I'll give you 250,000. Maybe others gonna say, I only want 250. I only want 25. So you can take from 25 as much as you want, you know? And then those that you talk to and didn't invest, you give them updates. Look, we now broke ground. Look, we did the first floor. Look, we have the pictures of it. Now the person said, do you have another project? Because this was very good. And that's how you build momentum in life.
Okay.
So that's the safety factor.
The safety factor. Alex told me that you once tried to invest here.
Yes, I tried to invest in Mexico. Now, I tried to simplify my life because I have my investments in taxes and all this. With Puerto Rico, I have special tax incentives, and in the US and California, I have big investments. I wanted to do business here because I can see opportunities. But I thought the best thing here to do is to get a lot in front of the beach and build a beautiful development. Because somebody told me, oh, one of the people that own one of the homes there that are worth, I don't know, maybe $5–10 million, the range is so big. He said to me, you know how much it cost me here? $85 square foot. I said, how come so little? It's luxury. He said, because it's Mexico. He said, this in the United States, the land will cost me more, and the construction will cost me more, and the labor will cost me more. So he left Texas and moved here to live beachfront and home. And he said to me, maximum I would have paid is 100, and you have luxury. And I said, wow. So now you have 2 opportunities. You can build good homes, not in front of the beach, very cheap. and sell them to people, or you can build luxury, inexpensive, that is very unique and it will attract people. So that's what attracted me. But then when I started talking to different architects and different people, people say, oh, you're an American? It's $150 square foot. Oh my God, you know, so, but oh, okay, I will come back to you later. And they come back and then they say, hey, you want to do it? I charge you $140. I want you, and I said, okay, oh my God, all over the place. Even in Puerto Vallarta, I bought a lot one time, a land in an area that was growing like crazy. And every architect I talked to gave me different price. And then came back to give me a lower price, then a higher price. Then, okay, then one guy quoted me very low price. I said, okay, let's meet. When we met, what do you want? This, oh no, it's gonna go high again. I said, okay, finish. I don't want to do business. And I stopped. So really, my success and your success has a lot to do with who you work with. Actually, it's three things. You have to know what you want. You have to know who you're gonna work with and how the job is gonna be done. Because you may be the best people, but you bring construction people that are losers. They come, they drink on the job, they don't show up the next day, they bring the wrong material, they do something you didn't see. So I felt in Mexico, I don't have the team to work with. In San Francisco, I have a team that's been with me 11 years. I tell them, like the two team told me, we don't want salary. We want percentage of profit. You give us percentage of profit, we kill ourselves here. They made a lot of money with me. They will never leave me because I depend on them, they depend on me. I bring them money and they do what they do best. And they make money on their work a lot more than if they charge hourly. So everybody wins. And I asked them, I said, you're gonna go create your own fund? And no, we don't want the hassle. We want to focus on this. We get paid very good with that. In Puerto Rico, I pay people a base and a percentage of like incentive. I pay you X per hour or per project plus a percentage. If we sell for more than this or if we rent for that, I give you. So they love it because they have cash flow to live and they have bonus. And they're very good. And there is always challenges, I understand. But the key thing is, in Mexico, I did not have the right team. If I find the right team, yes, I will look and I will check with the taxes in the US how to do it, and I'll do it with my money. I will not bring investors' money because it's too complicated.
Why is it so complicated?
Because they know me as US fund manager, San Francisco, Puerto Rico. I don't want to confuse them with Cancun. Maybe some of them will say, no, I don't want to go outside. But what if something happens? I don't even know. You see my point? So I like to keep my fund in the US, but for my personal investments, I would invest some money here if there are good projects with good people. And when I mean good people, that means I don't have to deal with day to day. So I have a lot of staff in Puerto Rico, I have a lot of staff in San Francisco, and I also have my education company in Florida, in Orlando. But I have staff that are good, have been with me many, many years. I can, like this morning, I was on the phone with my lawyer, I have in-house lawyer, they work for me full time. 5 minutes conversation. Can we do this, yeah, this, I send you email, okay, thank you, Miguel, boom, hung up. In Puerto Rico, finish, he handles everything else. You see my point? That's key. So I can step back and I can think what else to do, etc.
Okay.
Yes.
Stability.
Stability and sustainability. Like it's stable and sustainable, that means can continue for long term.
Okay. And what's the biggest project you've done?
Biggest project, I've done actually 3 projects at the same time, which were homes that we bought $5-6 million and made them a lot bigger and a lot more expensive. So each one was supposed to sell between $10 to $12 million. That was in 2016. And then before I finished them, I did a 4th project, another one which was also $7 million that I bought it. So it was so much happening at the same time, it was just crazy for everybody working. So that was very big. Right now I have 2 big projects which are in Puerto Rico, which I took 2 buildings, about 20-some thousand square feet, 23,000 square feet or so. And downstairs is retail, and upstairs we want to put 2 30-room hotels. And those are two big projects because by the time we're done, it will be like 10 million to maybe $15 million each. And we have to do them together. And the tourism office said they're going to give me tax credit.
And do you manage the properties, the revenue from the hotel business?
Yes. So I have a couple other hotels. We just sold the hotel on March 4th before all the pandemic problem. So I was very lucky to sell right before, actually 10 days later, they say lockdowns around the world. So I was so happy I sold. But I have a couple other hotels, and what we do is I have a manager for each one. I also have a lot of residential units because I like mixed-use buildings. So downstairs retail, upstairs residential, and I make the upstairs, some of them are Airbnb.
Okay.
And Airbnb is not always very profitable. Do you have to get that? Okay. Airbnb is not always very profitable. Okay, no problem. So you have to be careful how to do the Airbnb, but it was very profitable for us. And those, we have people to manage them. I don't directly manage. I manage the managers.
Okay.
Yes.
How many hotels do you have in Puerto Rico?
In Puerto Rico, we have right now 2 hotels, and we'd like to add 2 more. So one hotel is just 15 rooms.
It's under a brand or?
No, it just one is called like Fortaleza Suites.
Like boutique hotels?
Yes, boutique hotels, really cute, really nice, and and it actually in the front area I have commercial, and in the back I have the hotel, 15 rooms and suites, but it's very good location. You cannot imagine how much money we make from this location. It's very good. And I have, so the other one is also very small, and the one we just sold was 9 suites, but it was luxury, 9 suites, a big building, and the rooftop had a view of the bay of Old San Juan, the cruise, where the cruise ships arrive, and downstairs had retail. I sold it all to a very famous guy from cryptocurrency. He's the 8th wealthiest guy from cryptocurrency, according to Forbes magazine. He bought it. He wanted to put like it's his home and investments and whatever. So
there?
Yeah. There a lot of very wealthy people go to Puerto Rico because of the tax incentives and tax reduction. It's fantastic for everybody, really, for US and all this. It's not so easy to do business there because it's a little bit slow and you have a lot of obstacles and
kind of Latino.
It's Latin America in a good way because Latin America has a lot of growth and opportunities, and Puerto Rico in general is all based on relationships. Even when you go to the bank, how are you? How's it going? How's the family? They start for 5 minutes asking about you. In the US, hey, how are you? Sit down. What do you want? How much? Where? Okay, I'll send somebody. In the US, it's like no personal relationship almost with the banks. So.
It's similar here in Mexico as in Puerto Rico.
Yes. Get to know you and they get to build. That's why the more you build a relationship with people, the more you will succeed.
Yes.
Right now with the COVID-19 and the pandemic, I have a lot of tenants and I have a lot of banking relationships, and it's all easy for me because I have good relationships. But it's very strict. It's not like I'm a nice guy. I am nice within the parameters. So I say, okay, you cannot pay the full rent. I give you 50% now. The other 50% you have to pay later. No, but can you give it to me for free? No, you have to pay it. I give you 6 months. Okay, I give you a year. So we work with them based on a good relationship. Yes.
So what are your next projects?
So the 2 hotels are my important projects right now. They're delayed because you cannot reach the banks or anybody. So there's a bit of a delay there. Plus one of the hotels, after I bought the building, somebody came and made me an offer to pay me more. So I said, okay, well, maybe I sell it, get more money, and then do another project. So those are the 2 projects that I have right now. Other than that, I have 7 properties in San Francisco that we're working on. So it's very, very busy, full-time crews that are working like crazy right now.
So you can still work in San Francisco, like construction in San Francisco right now?
Yes, rehabilitation. We have 7 luxury homes in San Francisco, 6 and one in San Mateo County, which is, if you see San Francisco Airport, is San Francisco, and then San Mateo is right next to it.
Next to Palo Alto.
Next to Palo Alto, yes. I live in Santa Clara.
Santa Clara.
I have a home there.
San Jose.
Yeah, closer to San Jose. That area is amazing. There is no area like this in the world, in my opinion, because it's very limited supply. 10 days ago, one of the brokers called me and said, "We have a buyer for one of your properties." I said, "We didn't do any work." "No, it doesn't matter. They want it." Wow! You can even walk in the streets at the time, and this guy wanted the property. So it's big demand. Demand is everything because of the location. So if you have a good location with good demand and you have the right project, you can make money always.
But is it easy to find opportunities when there's so much big demand? Like,
okay,
if everyone's trying to buy, maybe everyone wants to put their prices up.
Yes. So opportunities. You can find opportunities, or you can find nothing, or you can create opportunities. So what I do is I create opportunities. I give you an example. In my opinion, there are, in my observation and experience, there are a lot of older homes that are in very good location. What do I mean older homes? One of the homes we bought, the lady lived there 32 years. Her husband died 10 years ago, she's been there. And so the home is old. You come in, the floor needs to be changed, the walls need to be expanded, the ceiling can go up and you can make another floor. But for her, it's like, I don't care, I've been here 32 years, my kids are gone, I'm just here because it's close to this now. So I come in and I say, how would you like me to buy it from you? How much do you want? I want $5 million. Man, I have to do this, that. But first I build rapport with her. You know, I'd like to give you the price, but look at this, I'll give you 4. Okay, 4.5. So we take it directly with the seller, put it under option, get all the design and all this approved by the city that yes, they approve, we put the second floor, they change the basement, all this. Then I tell the bank, look, you know, I've been doing a lot of work. I put my money, investors' money, and then the bank money, we cash her out and we make the house bigger. Other people that want to buy, they don't want a project. They are very wealthy engineers or high-tech people. For them, if they come into the house and say, this is falling apart, this is a beautiful area, I'm not gonna pay 4.5, 5 million for this. But when I finish it, and I put 2 million in it, and now I put total investment 7 million, plus the interest to the investors, and this is like my cost is 7.5, I can put it for 9 million, and 3-4 people come and say, I give you 9.1, I give you 9 million too, please don't talk to the other guy. And you sell it. So let's talk about that in Mexico. In Mexico, you find a good location. There is so much to be developed from Cancun all the way to Belize almost.
Yeah.
And you can say, okay, where is the demand? There's a lot of demand at Playa del Carmen, but a lot of demand that is cheap. A lot of people want 100,000.
Yes.
Okay, so now we think, can we build something quality for 100,000? Maybe. Or can we take a home that has a great location in front of the beach, that's run down because of the salitre, all the salt and all this stuff with the humidity. We take it and we make it so nice. So we take it maybe for 1.5 million, make it so nice with 500,000. So we're done with 2 million, but it's worth now 5. Yeah. This is what you can find here.
Yes.
And that home will be marketed to many people that are wealthy in the US, and somebody comes in and says, I want it. And but the demand will never be as much as a regular place because this is a second home.
Yeah.
You see? So there has to be market studies. Because you almost always have demand for the low end, and there is always demand in the very luxury high end, but there is so little people can afford here, a lot of people afford here. So you find, okay, what's missing, what's needed? And then when you figure out, based on the market, what's needed and what's growing, you put something for that need. In San Francisco, they need luxury homes, they can afford it. Here, we have to do some studies. Maybe, I think here there is opportunity with hotels. You can take a small hotel.
For example.
Okay, so you can take a small hotel. I'll give you an example. Actually, if you go right here on Cancun, you go left next to Isla, there is a hotel like 100 rooms closed. It's unbelievable. I have to, my wife would know better. We were driving. I said, this is a gold mine. You fix it, you make it nice. That hotel will make a lot of money. Another situation, you go down like you're going to Playa, there are small hotels on the beach, like beachfront, owned by small people that would like to sell. You give them a fair offer, you give them a good offer, and then you build something nice. And then that hotel, you don't sell it, you operate it, brings cash flow. And maybe you get 2 hotels, then build something bigger.
So, but at what point you consider it a good investment? I'm talking about the ROI, the return of investment. Like, if it's 2%, you wouldn't consider it.
Yeah. It's in my opinion, if it doesn't make 20% annualized return, like if I'm gonna wait 3 years, I have to be able to comfortably make 20% per year.
With only the cash flows.
With the cash flow, yes.
Not considering the rise of the price of the property.
Yes. Okay. So so I'll explain. Yes. So let's say we're gonna take a project. So we're gonna take this land.
Okay.
And we're gonna build it. So I calculate building the land, buying the land, building on it, and all this. And it's gonna take 3 years and put $1 million. So it should be 1.6 million in valuation minimum. Net after all the other expenses, the interest and this and this and this, that if I sell and pay everything, we made 20% per year, net. You see my point?
Yes.
So maybe we took it for $1 million, build it for another $1 million, so it's 2 million. Now we want, what's 2 million? 20% per year. You see my point?
Yes.
And that's the calculation. Net has to be, because in San Francisco I do it.
Yeah.
And that's the net. Some projects are better, some projects a little bit less, because it's always on papers, always real estate looks great. Oh, I'm gonna buy it, do this, oh my God, on paper it looks wonderful. But what's the reality? So you have to have a lot of margin of safety, saying, oh, I can maybe make 25. Because sometimes you only end up with 20, sometimes you only end up with 15, but the other project makes 25. So you average 20. So you can pay the investors good money, and you make good money, and you can give incentives, and you have room for mistakes.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you're lucky because the market also went up. You know. So
that's when you buy and sell properties, and when you receive cash flow like in hotels.
yes.
What's the return?
Usually, okay, in Mexico I don't know because
Well,
usually
in any business.
in any business, okay, for
You
real
rent a
estate,
property,
yeah, for
you rent
real
a
estate
property.
business, ideally it will sell right away if it's NOI, net operating income, 10 to 12%. You're with me? So if a building makes 100,000 net after all expenses, if you put it for sale at 1 million, it should sell right away. Because it's 10 times the net. That's in the US. Here I noticed the 2-3 projects I looked, they make 12% to 14%. It depends on the location. So if it makes 120,000, they will pay 1 million. You see my point? But in the US, it's 10 times the net. 10 times the net will sell right away. Now, in California, you can pay 16 times the net. What do I mean? It makes 100,000, they will offer you 1.6 million, 16 times that net.
Why is it?
Why California? Because there is big demand and it's safer investments. The land is very expensive because it's very little. A lot of Chinese investors that come in with money, sometimes Russian investors, sometimes American investors that are local, and they say, I want my money in real estate because it's not going to go anywhere. I cannot lose. Sometimes go down a little, but it comes back up. So you have places that are very expensive, like Manhattan, New York.
Yes.
Yeah.
That it's very expensive because it's very scarce. So people pay a lot more.
But I think as a median home, San Francisco is more expensive.
For homes, you cannot use the formula of net income. For homes, you look at comparable sales. So if it's a residential home, people say, how much did it sell here per square foot? And in San Francisco, it could be from $1,000 per square foot to $2,000, maybe even more per square foot. That's unbelievable.
Yes.
So sometimes I take the basement. I'm gonna change the basement of a home. I get the approval from the city and we're gonna put 2,000 square feet, change the basement completely. We're gonna drop it, so the ceiling will be high. We're gonna put bathrooms, bedrooms, etc. And 2,000 square feet is gonna cost me $500 square foot. It's very expensive, all cost. But when I come to sell it, it's 1,500 or 2,000 square foot. So I make $1,000 per square foot. So 2,000 square feet, I make $2 million. I don't do it until I know how much the comparable sales. Oh, it's 2,000 square foot in this area. How much gonna cost me to increase the square foot? It's fantastic. Like this guy who said, I built $85 square foot, say $100 square foot, but he built like 10,000 square foot home. So the land cost him a lot of money. The construction didn't cost him too much. And he did it because he said, the land with the per square foot price will cost me at the end maybe $500 square foot, but when I sell, I'll sell at 1,000. I'll double my money. When you do ground up development, you should be able to double your money. I have projects right now in Florida. Yeah, I can double my money on a project is assisted living. You know assisted living? It's for older people that need the assistance in their living. You build maybe 100 units, cost 10 to 15 million. It depends on the land cost and location. And we can turn around, sell, almost double. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because to get the permit of it.
In assisted living, you sell it?
Yeah, when you build it.
For an operating company.
So you can, yes, you can build it and then sell it to companies that buy them and operate them.
Okay.
And sometimes in the US, if you cannot double it, I give you an example, 115 million. I can put 5 million down payment, get a $10 million loan, and when I'm done, I can maybe sell for 20 million. So I pay the bank back the 10, and I have 10 million profit. I put 5 million down payment and have 5 million profit. From that 5 million profit, I pay the interest, some percentage of the profit, some of the investment, we still make a lot of money. Yeah. And I heard here, like, I talked to somebody who's going to do some project in Isla. And
in Isla Mujeres?
No, not Isla Mujeres, no, Isla,
Plaza La Isla.
Yeah, Plaza La Isla next door.
Okay,
and
village.
The land and building, when they finish, the value is double. I said, oh my God, I want to do it. I'll do the project. But then, I don't know, the guy never called back and I don't know what happened. I think he never bought the land. So,
is the land that they're using right now for the second part of the place now?
I think, yes.
Okay.
Yes, like there's also there is plenty. If you get a good location, we study the market, because all based on market. If it's residential, it's based on the market. If it's commercial, I tell you my favorite. Okay, I'll tell you my favorite projects. My favorite projects are the one where we do what's called build to suit. Here in Mexico, I'll do it like this. Build to suit is like Starbucks. You want a location? They say, yeah, we want this location. I will buy the land. I will build the building for you. Because now Starbucks want big inside, outdoor, and drive-through. They want the three. Yeah. And I say, I'll do it for you. I love commercial. I will build an apartment building. We get the land, build an apartment, it will cost less, and you can rent very well. And if it's a good location, you can make some Airbnb and some rent, and you make it some condominium. So we can sell some, get all the money back, and then keep the rest for income. Yeah. This is like the highest level. We do projects like this, extremely profitable. Because residential, again, people are gonna be second home if Americans. Yeah. Here, they have to have a reason to go there. So they want a big lot, they want this, they want that. But commercial, it's big companies. You get a commercial in like downtown, good location, or whatever. You get the right single tenant building, like land, and we build, or an old building that is now vacant, we take it and repurpose it, like change it for McDonald's, for Jack in the Box, for Burger King.
But do you get the clients before?
Yes, if we get the client before, that's the best way to do it, because we have to do, it's called build to suit. That means build to suit their needs, to be what they want.
Okay.
And they don't want to buy the land, and they don't want to build in Mexico, but they want to open places in Mexico.
Yeah.
So we tell them, hey, I'm an American company. I have my contacts here. We're a team. Tell us what you want. They say, oh, we want a location downtown or a location in Playa. Okay, we have this location, what do you like? We take this one. Then they write the contract. It's called a letter of intent. I do this a lot in the United States, but with existing buildings.
Yeah.
Here we can build, because you're an architect, you already know. All we need is we tell them, what do you need? And so we need this. Okay, I'll do it. And then, how much are you gonna pay me in rent? We're gonna pay you $5,000 a month, or $10,000 a month. Now we look at the numbers. Okay, if the land is gonna cost $500,000 US, because it's a great location. And we're gonna build for 500,000, 1 million, but they're gonna pay so much, it's gonna be worth 2 million. We do it right now. Because when we're done, we can sell it. Or we can keep it. We can do so many options then, because it's a big company and they give what's called corporate guarantee. That means we guarantee to pay you the payment, and they are publicly traded.
Yeah.
You find a project like this, you come to me, I do it anytime. Anytime. I only do these in the United States, but because I know you guys here and we know each other, so I would look at it here. Definitely, I would definitely consider it. So, do I build a home or do I build commercial? Commercial is better.
Yeah, commercial.
Do I build the commercial and then find a commercial tenant? No, let's find the tenant, ask them what do you want, we will build it for you. You see my point?
Yes.
And you can see even in front of the lagoon some places that are closed. Look, how could that be? What happened? You see my point? You
Yeah.
can take them, but I think in front of the lagoon you can't own the land, right?
They give you a
100
federal
year.
permit,
Yes.
so you can build.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always better to own.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to deal with with leases and government and stuff. Not even in the US. Sometimes you do what's called land lease, like you lease the land for 50 years, and now you want to
Like
own the land.
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, yeah, exactly. Hong Kong, I wouldn't do business there. A lot of corruptions. You have to always be careful of the corruption, and nothing bad about other parts of the world, but every part of the world has some degree of problems. So you want no problems that will cause safety issue of the money. And the money being invested, the money has to be like very protected. That's why owning the land is the best.
Yeah.
Good.
So, do people in the United States would be like, would consider to do the assisted living here, like live here?
Oh yeah, I think the fear is the medical services.
Yeah.
So I would say when I talk about assisted living facility is for people here that want to retire. So maybe somebody from Mexico City would say, wow, I can go live in an assisted living facility, like a building that's especially for people like me who have problems with this, they're older. Because there is all these medical services that come with it, okay, I'll pay so much per month.
Because in Costa Rica, many people go to retire.
Yes.
And here in Chapala, Jalisco,
Mm-hmm.
San Miguel, Mérida, and Tijuana mostly, I think.
Yeah, if it makes financial sense, but also medical sense, like there's good health services, they'll do it. The most important thing is they want to know that their health insurance or their health coverage, because in the United States they have Medicare and all this, will cover. The wealthy people want to be where they are.
Yeah.
Like in California, maybe they go to San Diego. In Colorado, they stay next to, So I think when I talk assisted living facilities, an example for people in Mexico to retire here in a building here in Mexico. Yeah. So what projects do you have in mind? Like, have you thought of projects and things to do?
Yeah. So we've done. We're young right now,
Mhm.
but right now we're doing an auditorium in downtown Cancun.
Yes.
It's for paralyzed president,
Oh my gosh, yes.
and it's pretty big. It's about from $2 to $3 million building,
Yes.
and we're about to finish it like in a few months.
3 months. Approximately.
Yeah, 3
Very
months
good.
approximately.
Yes.
And that was our first big project.
Very
He's a
good.
friend of my dad,
Yes.
and he hired Gerardo at the
Yes.
beginning because he was at the moment studying still architecture,
Yes.
and because he was like
He
cheaper
wanted-
at the
He
moment.
wanted to save money.
okay.
He hired me.
Okay.
So,
And then
but we made a really good project. I think we have some pictures of it.
Excellent. Excellent.
Tienes fotos.
ahorita es que me las estamos
Yeah.
dando.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Some pictures.
Yeah.
And
So.
we also worked in a small projects, but like 2 or 3 with Ocean Leader.
Mhm.
Is the biggest seafood company in Mexico.
Ah, fantastic.
He's my friend.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Gerardo's friend.
My
Yeah.
classmate.
Oh, really good.
Yeah, and right now we were trying to get some other projects because we're finishing this, but we haven't.
Mm.
Like, we were thinking in, because I've seen your videos and kind of like business that we don't want to do like someone comes and tells us what to do. Always,
Yes.
we want to create the projects.
Yes.
So right now we're checking with our friends
Yeah.
and with people we know
It's in progress. But
Mhm.
the properties that they do have at the
Mhm.
moment. And most of the people here in Mexico, they have properties, but they
Mhm.
don't have cash flow. So they don't
They don't
can't-
have cash flow or cash.
they don't have cash.
Ah, they don't have cash.
They don't have cash.
Mhm.
So they can't make projects.
Mhm.
Most of the times they need
Very
investors.
good. Mhm.
¿Cuántos metros tiene?
So right now we're just
Yes.
examining the
It's
Mhm.
30,000
making
square feet.
research.
Wow, this is a very good project. So how much did it cost per square foot? This is easier than residential because it's right? Or how much per square foot? I'm just trying to.
It's not easier because
It has acoustic products.
an acoustic design. So, for example, for just the walls,
Yeah.
it was here we built with block.
Mm-hmm.
Then it has ¿cómo se llama?
Like
Special foam.
Yeah.
Then we have
yeah, because
¿cómo se llama la herrería?
but it's because
Mm-hmm. It's very nice.
since the loud could be a lot,
Yeah.
we have to put a lot of stuff inside the walls, so the
For the
sound doesn't.
insulation.
Yeah.
Yes, it's isolation
Insulation.
and acoustic performance.
Oh.
So it's two things.
Yeah.
Very good.
Good.
And so how much did it cost per square foot?
Square foot, we don't.
Square meter.
Square meter. Approximately about like right now the dollar is at 23. Entonces como
Say 20 to.
yeah, like
$700
$1,000.
Per square meter. So it's like okay.
But
It's because
really
for example, it has
So it's like it's almost like $100 square foot.
but everything is marble.
Yes.
it
That's
has
very nice.
Every
So
has
an
wood.
outdoor park, and the park is made
Okay,
of marble, for example.
got it. So if you have all the money you want to have, what project would you do?
What project would we do?
We were thinking about what you said about the
Commercial?
commercial thing
Yeah.
because
You
Alex
have
has
many friends that own businesses. Like
Yeah.
I have a friend who his
Owns the
family owns the Go Marts and all the gas stations, and they're the biggest gas station owners in Mexico.
Yeah.
And I have another friend who, you know,
Grupo
Anderson.
Anderson?
Yeah,
the Señor Frog.
Señor Frog.
Ah, yes. I know them very well. Yes.
Yeah, one of my
videos.
Actually, I almost partnered with them for Puerto Rico, but it didn't work out. Yeah.
yeah.
Senior Frogs, yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
Senior Frog, and they were gonna do a project with me in one of the hotels. They were gonna be like, the Senior Frog Hotel, the hostel idea and all this. But we couldn't agree on some things. But continue. So,
Yeah. Well, the nephew is
Uh-huh.
one of my best friends,
yes.
and like we have people that have the businesses, so we can they can be our tenants, right?
Yes,
Our
tenants, yes, exactly.
But right now we don't have like the money to build.
Yes. So if you have a good tenant,
Yeah.
I can actually, look at the project.
Yeah.
I did not have anybody that I can trust, or a project that I can say, okay, it's bigger risk in Mexico, so I have to make bigger returns
Yes.
for my own money, because my money works very safe. I have my whole team, they watch. I have 2 lawyers, 2 CPA accountants, one of them used to work for the Treasury Department of the United States. I have my brother-in-law works with me in Puerto Rico, a full team. I have in San Francisco 2 architects, 1 designer, 2 project managers. I have like full team watching. Here I don't have anybody.
Okay.
All I have is my wife, 2 kids, and we play volleyball. That's it. But you got a good project, I will look, and we look at the returns. Because it's very important that if I bring money here, I don't have the leverage with the bank.
Yes.
You see my point? Over there I can put 1 million, the bank gives me 2 million.
Yeah.
Here, I have to bring the whole 3 million.
Yeah, and
So
other thing is that most of the times when here in Mexico, like, imagine that we get you as an investor.
Yes.
Other
trust
people would start to
trust us.
trust us
Yes.
because you're backing us up. So that will make the role as the bank other people.
Yes, absolutely. It feeds on itself. So the thing is, in the beginning, to build credibility is the hardest work.
Yes.
And it's the most expensive step in time and effort and all, because you want to do it fast, you want to do it right, you want to do it profitably, so a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Like when I started, I had to work a lot harder than today, because today I have more knowledge, so I know, and it's easier to.
We have people.
Yeah, you have momentum, momentum, and it's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will. Hey, if there are projects, I can look, but I may not always agree. I just want to tell you that is. I get projects like every week somebody presents something, I look, no, not good enough. This, I need more if you want me to do it. This one, no, it's a complete design. You're gonna lose me, don't do it. And then it depends on the project.
Yeah.
But the safest and best projects are the ones where we have the tenant, and it's a big tenant that is really committed to the place. And we have tenants, they say, I'm ready to write the lease right now with you to lease the space for 10 years. Triple net, that means they pay the tax, the insurance, the maintenance. Those are the big companies.
Yeah.
And you say, okay, we sign right now. So those are the ones, the risk is very little.
And with our clients, it's easier with buildings that already exist.
Yes, in the United States, almost 9 out of 10 projects with commercial is existing buildings that are vacant. So we take it, we put it under contract.
Because of the time of construction.
Exactly, put it under contract. And then we call the national tenants, the big companies. There is over 4,000 companies in the US that grow. Arby's, Jack in the Box, I can go like crazy. Chipotle, yeah. And we tell them, are you interested in this? They
So
respond.
how do you contact them?
Oh, by phone.
You
We
go,
make a video of the place. We make a video, we prepare email, we send the email to the companies, we call the companies and we say, we have this and that, are you interested? Here, we can hire somebody that works in malls. Like, how do they bring them in the mall? It's a company like Platinum Realty or whatever. We can tell them, hey, listen, we have this location, can you get us a tenant? You see? So in the United States, when you put a property under contract, you have like 60 days to change your mind. It's called due diligence, the inspection period.
Yes.
Okay, so here I'm sure we have like also 4
yeah, that's
phases.
also due diligence.
Yes. And during the due diligence period is when we call the tenants, or we have companies call the tenants for us. And if we find a good tenant, we do the deal. If not, we walk away.
Okay.
And the way I do it is I train, like my students are all over the United States. So I have deals in Dallas and Florida and this. And then they put the deal. And then when the tenant said, yes, I want it, I asked the tenant, what do you need? We will take it, we will pay you $10,000 a month, but we need you to give us $100,000 for remodeling. for rehabilitation of the place to be like our place. So I say, okay, I'm gonna buy the building for $600,000. I'm gonna give them 100 for tenant improvement, the improvement of the place. But when I'm done, it's gonna be worth 1.2 million. It jumps like double. So then I buy. And sometimes we have to put under contract 20 deals to do one. Sometimes 10 deals to do one. Right now, believe it or not, with the COVID-19, it's like crazy. The properties we have under contract, when we call the tenants, we reach them right away because they're not running around, they're at home. And their phone from business is transferred to their home and they talk. Every day, I had a conference call with somebody. Actually, what? I have a call at 3 o'clock. What time is it now?
12:40.
Oh, okay, I will have that. So I just remember. And today's Memorial Day, but I have a call
Yes.
at 3 p.m. because the guy said, we want to talk about this location. The location, one of my students got it. They put it under contract. Then they call and they arrange. And then when it happens, when the tenant wants to talk, I am the one who talks to the tenant to work the deal. And I thought of doing it here. There was a place downtown, and somebody told me,
Near where?
I can't remember the location. I don't leave the resort very often.
Yeah.
Only my wife takes the kids and come. But I went to look because it was a friend of my wife. The friend of my wife, her husband owned the land. So I talked to him. He said, I want cash right now because I'm trying to finish a project in Playa and somebody was going to give me the money. He's the investor. And then he said, no. And now I'm stuck. I can finish. The other investor is going to sue me. And I said, okay, but what am I going to do with this? He said, there is a tire company that want to lease from Mexico City, want to lease for 15 years. So, oh my God, how beautiful. I said, okay, I do it right now. But what ended up happening is the other investor gave him the money and they worked it, so he didn't sell, and he opened the tire company. He worked with them.
Okay.
And now he has, I think, 3 locations. So some deals like this, it's really, really good. You get the location under contract without being committed to buy it. And then you find the tenant, then you buy.
And how much do you spend in the option contract?
Sometimes, every deal is negotiated different. Sometimes, to put it under contract, I give them just a little money. And I have 45 days. If I need more time, because the location is good, people are calling me, but they don't know yet, and I say, oh my God, I need more time. I tell them, okay, I tell you what. I'm gonna give you want, let's say $100,000 for this land, just a simple number. I give you $5,000 for you right now to have option for another 2 months. If I don't buy, you keep the $5,000. It's non-refundable. Sometimes people say, give me $10,000. I give you 3 months. If you don't buy, you lose it. Okay. So now I'm risking real money. It all depends on the location. Some locations, you know it's good because you're getting a lot of calls. Like right now, we have a location next to the airport in Fort Lauderdale. And it used to be a rental company. It's a small location and a big lot. And we put it under contract. And we started calling, this student of mine started calling many tenants. He actually used a real estate agent. Real estate broker, I think. Yeah. Calling many companies. And now we have 2 rental companies they want to take. So they're saying, okay, we spend the money and all this. But one of them, I said, I never heard of you. They said, we're very big. We make 3 million over this and this. I said, send me all the backup. So tomorrow on Tuesday, they're going to send me all the numbers. And if it's good, we buy the building. The building is $850,000. If this company comes, it will be worth 1.8, 1.9 million. So it's a very good deal, you know?
Double your money.
We'll double, yes. I have to buy it cash because the bank to give me the loan is gonna take forever, there's no time. So that deal is boom, we're gonna buy, but I cannot sell it right away. I have to buy, they have to start, we have to do the tenant improvement, maybe they ask for 100,000. So not double it completely, but very close to doubling. And it's gonna be within 4 months because they are gonna start paying the rent when they finish everything. When they start paying, I can put it for sale.
Do you do the improvements or then?
Negotiated. So I have to negotiate with the seller. I have to negotiate with the tenant. And then based on the improvement, I have to negotiate with the contractors and what we're gonna do. But it's all communication. And if you know how to, this is what they want, this is what you want, you find that little agreement in the middle, and then you make it happen. But this, one of the rental companies, they're so excited. They're from Venezuela and they're doing very well in Miami. They're doing very well in Tampa, and they want Fort Lauderdale. This is a very good location, very busy. And we got an unbelievable deal because they wanted for the land, for the location, 1,200,000 in January. When COVID-19 happened, they called my student back, one of the students that I work with, and they said, take it, we'll give it to you for 900. He said 850 or something like this, or 825, I forgot. They said, okay, put it under contract right now. Because they had a panic attack. So it's a very good deal. You know what I mean? Usually you don't get, and so that can be done here.
Yeah.
And if you have contacts like this, you go to your friends, say, where do you want to go? We want to go here. Okay, how do you want us to build it? This way. If we do this in this location, will you rent it? Yes. We'll get back to you. Come to me. We will look at all the numbers and I'll tell you, we need so much for rent. If they pay us this, we do the project. Because I know my numbers. I've done it so many times. Of all the things I've done, this made me the most money in my life. Is I used to get the building under contract, and I would call, like in Puerto Rico, the cruise ships arrive, people come, walk in the streets.
Yes.
So I said, my God, there's a lot of money to be made. So I got the buildings, I started calling. I called Puma, Adidas. All these people rented from me. I had Puma one time, I had Adidas before, I had Burberry. I have right now Tommy Hilfiger, Coach, all the big brands that you see in Forum and all here. I brought them to Puerto Rico, to Old San Juan. And the buildings are very expensive there, like $3.5 million for just one building. But when you bring a tenant, boom, the value goes like crazy because they pay a lot. Because every day the cruise ships arrive. Like if we can do in Cozumel, right where the cruise ships arrive, we will make so much money you can't even imagine. We take an old building, people are leaving, we put it under contract. Just put it under contract. And I will tell you that we can probably double. I don't care how much the price is, because the big companies will say, I pay you $20,000 a month. Dollars. Because they're gonna sell 5 million, 6 million a year. So for them, 250, 250, take it, you're so poor, you know, 250, because they make millions. You know the company Del Sol?
Yes.
I worked with them before, even in Puerto Rico. I worked with them in Puerto Rico. They make a lot of money. So we put together all what we talked about. A location like Cozumel, where the cruise ships arrive.
Yes.
We're dealing with commercial tenants. We get a commercial building. Downstairs is commercial, upstairs residential. Right? We put it under contract. There is big demand because there is big traffic. The demand is for commercial. Commercial tenants, they say, what's the location? I'll pay you whatever you want. I want this location. They are crazy about locations. That's one choice. The other choice, you go to your friends. What do you want? Where? We'll make it easy for you. We'll build it to your specifications and we'll do it in X months. You know how long it's gonna take, how much it's gonna cost. You're gonna say, Cherif, here's the land, here's the cost. How much money should we charge? We're gonna charge them X. I will tell you what we charge them for the rent. And then we're gonna see, okay, so this is the cost, okay, let's work it. I give you so much percentage of the profit. I'm gonna bring so much money and everybody will make money. I want you to make money so you can say, Cherif, let's do a second project. Because the idea of making business and growing has to do with the incentives. What's the reward? You're gonna spend the time and effort.
Yeah.
Once you do the first project with me, maybe more investors come in, maybe we do bigger projects. In my opinion, one of the fun projects I would like to do eventually is build City Express or that Uno Hotel in a good location. And we can say, okay, I tell you, we get this location, we build it.
Oh, yeah.
Something like this, I understand from people I know from a family that's very wealthy here. They told me that it costs so little to build. And you pay the labor is not expensive, but they make the reservation in dollars when they come. So you make like so much profit. Something like this, I do it in a heartbeat. And we can sell it right after for double. And this, we're talking now millions.
Yes.
In, out, those are very easy to sell. Very easy to sell because the people that own already hotels in Mexico City and Mazatlan, you just get the list. You call them, hey, you want a hotel in Cancun? It's downtown or it's over here, and it's 70 rooms, and this is what we're gonna charge. No negotiation. They buy it because they know that formula.
Yeah.
That I'm very interested.
Even though the pandemic.
Oh yeah. You see, the pandemic is gonna pass.
Yeah.
The fear with the pandemic is, if you look in 1920, the Spanish flu, it came in 3 waves. In the second wave was 6 months later, and 100% of the people that got infected died. Now here we're in the first wave. They're afraid that when they release everything and people start going out, there'll be a second wave in the first quarter of 2021. If that happens, it's gonna be global depression. So that's why it's like things are slowing down and everybody's afraid of recession because everybody's uncertain. There is a risk that nobody can assess the risk. We don't know what's gonna happen. But I really think the medical advancement right now that happened is not gonna create a second wave. It's almost impossible. Really think about it. Because in 1920, they didn't have any technology. They didn't have communication even. You're gonna talk 20, 100 years later with all the things. It's not that bad. This COVID-19, only like less than 1% of the people die. They say even 0.02. I don't know the exact numbers, but thank God it's not affecting very badly younger people who are healthy and all this. It's mostly older people that are weak immune system.
Yes.
Cool.
That's true.
So now we have an idea how to work together.
Yeah.
You know, build something for a tenant that you have, or maybe get land, build a hotel, put a good brand, flip it, and I'm always willing and ready and able. Cool?
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
Pleasure. Alex, pleasure. Thank you.